Today I'd like to tell you a couple of words about social games. Everyone knows that social games are successful, so I think I don't need to convince you about it. But I'd like to explain you why they are so successful, and I'd like to think together with you about challenges for social games developers. The whole world is playing. Szymon said that the whole world is connected. I would say that the whole world is playing, and I have some numbers to support this, what I said. I wouldn't like to bore you with too many numbers, but there is something that I just have to say. Facebook has now more than 900 million users. It's around billion. Social games represent 40% of usage time at Facebook and became one of the main reasons why to visit Facebook. One developer, the most successful developer, Zynga, has 240 million mobile and 300 million Facebook users. That's really a lot, and Zynga is said to be a threat for soap operas in the United States. There are some researchers that say that there is a correlation between shrinking soap operas audience and growing social game audience. Not only Facebook is big, single games can be also big. Angry Birds, everyone knows what Angry Birds is. This game was downloaded 648 million times and now has 200 million monthly active users. Monthly active users are those who at least one per month played a game. Facebook is not the only opportunity for developers. Another big is App Store, Apple App Store, who unfortunately for developers became very crowded place. Every day 133 games are being submitted to App Store, and every day this number of games compete for people audience, and it's getting harder and harder. What's interesting about games, and especially social and mobile games, is the fact that their state is irreversibly proportional to the state of the world economy. Everywhere we can hear that the economy is down, that we have crisis, that there is huge unemployment rate, but just the opposite. Social games are booming, the forecasts for market are very optimistic. You heard today about mobile market, so I don't need to repeat. It's going to be really big. The market is big, investors know it, and that is why we saw some interesting acquisitions recently on the market. Only in the year 2011, 77 game companies were acquired for almost $3 billion. In 2011 only. Electronic Arts bought PopCap for $750 million. PopCap is developer of Plants vs. Zombies, Zuma, Bejeweled Blitz, and those IPs were worth so much for Electronic Arts. Another big transaction is Disney buying Playdom, and just recently, 2 months ago, Zynga bought Draw Something, one application, very big application, but only one application without business model was worth $210 million for Zynga. Playtika also had only one game during time of acquisition, and 51% of their share cost $50 million. So why investors are so optimistic? Why everyone is willing to spend so big money on social games? There must be a reason, and I think that we know and we can tell you what is the reason. First of all, what social games mastered is business model. Basically, it's freemium, and this is something that other developers can actually learn from social games developers. Another one is consumer-driven marketing. Social games company has a little bit different approach to marketing. Another stuff is cross-platform availability of games, and especially social games. Frictionless payments and the fact that it's so easy to pay in the internet also helped social games to grow. And finally, in-depth analysis. Social games companies are expert in analyzing data. We said freemium, but it's not the only business model in social games. Previously, premium was very popular. Premium means that we pay once for a game, then the game is ours. We can enjoy it without paying. Freemium just the opposite. We can enjoy the game for free, but if we want to have something faster, bigger, more beautiful, we need to pay. Now, premium model is being experimented on, and it means that at the beginning we pay little money, and then we can buy virtual goods. We need to remember that business model is like adding friction to fun, because games are about fun, and in a perfect world we could have pure fun without business model, but unfortunately we need to make money and we need to add this friction, and that's the whole trick, how much friction you can add to games. If you add too much friction, then you kill the game. If not enough friction, then you won't make money. Consumer-driven marketing is also something different about social games. Definition of marketing is different. Now, social games company define it as users acquisition, retention, and monetization. And all those areas are the ones where marketing is present. Users acquisition seems to be easy, because if you have a budget, you can have thousands of users every day. But actually, it's not that easy, because if you mind how much do you need to pay for a user, and how much money one user can bring you, then users acquisition, it's not easy anymore, because you need to do it wisely. Now on Facebook, user acquisition cost is $1.50. This is how much you need to pay for every registered users. And when you take into consideration that only 3% of users are paying once, and average revenue per paying user monthly is 31 cents, then you need to be really careful how you spend money. And I would like to present here a chart coming from our company. This is how the distribution of payments at Ganymede looks like. And the data come from Game Desire, our gaming portal. 95.6 users don't pay at all. This is our marketing opportunity, current or future marketing opportunity. So we don't neglect them, we care about them, but actually almost everyone doesn't pay. Another 2.8% users are paying less than $5, and they give us some revenue. The biggest revenue share, over 70%, comes from 0.2% of users. They are our big spenders. And I think those charts are very representative for the whole industry. Maybe we have a little more paying users because it's around 5%, but I bet that the distribution for other social games developers is similar. Another factor that helped social games and mobile games to blooming is the fact that it's really easy to pay. Now it's just one click or one tap, and it's just painless paying without any special ado, without crossing barriers. So that's also very important. Players now have special needs, and they want to play their favorite game anytime and anywhere. They want to play their favorite game on mobile devices, on their way home, or on their way to work. In work, they want to play from Facebook, and later they want to play the game from their own PC. And this is kind of challenge, but also an opportunity that developers are facing. And now cross-platform approach is a standard in the industry, and actually almost nobody is now focused on one only platform. And something that is really very special about social games, and this is something that others can learn from social games developers, is approach to metrics and analysis. Social games developers, the most successful ones, know about their users everything. They track every click and they search for, this is the way how to search for a better way for games, how to meet players' expectation. And you can see at this slide how many data do we need to track. It's really a lot, and the bad news is that we don't track single data, but we are always looking for sets, correlations, relations, and this is how we actually spend lots of time in our office. This is why we hire analysts, people to work with servers, databases, etc., etc. And why do we do this? Why do we care? It's a huge effort, and actually we do it because it's worth to do it. Those effort helps us to work and not risking that much, because working and making decisions based on intuition is pretty expensive. And on this chart you can see how do we track the state of game desire, for example. That's the first top left chart. This is how we check the condition of our portal. We check if we have new users and what happens to them. On the next chart, we track the state of games. How sticky are they? If we are able to retain users and if they are staying for a longer time. On the next chart, monetization, we're checking if users are able and they are happy actually to play with us and to pay. And finally, we can check potential monetization, and this is how we know how much money can we spend on every new user. And it's complicated, but actually it's working. Everything in social games companies is A/B tested, just everything. Some developers are just crazy about A/B testing, and on they keep A/B test their products, and the whole products and actually the single parts, every button is A/B tested, because the color of a button can make difference. So this is how social games developers work, and this is also how we work. And again, working this way is just cheaper, because you allow users to decide what they prefer instead of guessing. But the beauty of this business actually is that still breaking the rules is possible. I said about a couple of rules, but just the opposite. There are some examples that without all those in-depth analysis and all special approach to marketing conquered the market. And I think that's very interesting lessons for everybody here, that actually in this business impossible is nothing. You can see on the slide World of Goo, that was, and this is the title developed by two guys who left Electronic Arts because they were tired with corporation. They spent a couple of months sitting in a cafe and developing a game. And World of Goo is one of very big titles on mobile platform, both mobile platforms, App Store and Google Market. Angry Birds, everyone knows what is it, but maybe not everyone knows that Angry Birds is 52nd title by Rovio. Before this hit, they developed 50 games that weren't that successful. But actually nobody cares, nobody remembers, everyone knows that Angry Birds is a huge success. Another story is Guitar Hero. Nobody believed in this, nobody wanted to publish Guitar Hero. Everyone said, every publisher said that nobody needs additional device, that actually it's not going to work. But it worked. Finally, somebody published Guitar Hero, and it's another big gaming hit. In games, sky is the limit. I don't know if you know, but the world's Guinness record was broken in one of games, and it's Entropia Universe. One virtual good was sold for more than $300,000. That's the amount of money that somebody paid for virtual good. Virtual meaning not real, without real value. But games and emotions that we provide can be worth that much money. Finally, Minecraft is another example that actually broke all the rules. This game doesn't have any sophisticated graphic. This game is actually made by gamers, and it was made by one guy after hours. And it's also very, very big success. Now let's think, what are the challenges? We know how did we get here, but what do we face now? I would say that every social games developers and every game developer needs to master freemium and the way how to make money. I said freemium was mastered, but well, there is still something to learn, and I think there is still something to develop here, because this Entropia universe example shows that there are no limitations here. Social games developers should go beyond Facebook. Definitely it's not the only place. There are lots of interesting opportunities out there. For Ganymede, for example, Yahoo game platform works very well. It's not crowded. There are not many developers, but there are still many players, and every day we have around 3,000 unique registrations just for free. And with Yahoo, we don't need to share our revenue. What is also important is to go beyond performance marketing. We said how expensive is user acquisition, but it's not the only way. Obviously, there is a huge space for viral marketing, for interesting PR activities, and there is still lots of to do without big budgets. And what's especially interesting, I think, for us is upcoming App Store war. Facebook is going to have their own App Store that will sell premium content. Amazon is developing their own App Store. Google Plus is also a big tool. Windows Mobile still is fighting for developers' attention. And I think that's a huge opportunity, because platforms, gaming platforms, and all app stores are actually up to developers. You need to have developers, attractive games, attractive offer to have users. And finally, what games developers need to mind is hiring talents. And actually a lot has been said about this today. Don said about this, David, and I can just only agree that it's not actually random achievements, that you need to have right people with ideas, people who have passion, and this is how you can compete with others. And basically this is everything what I'd like to share with you today, and I'm open to questions now and later on.
Any questions?
So what's your take on publishers? Ganymede publishes its own games, or do you use some kind of publishers, or what's, if I'm an indie publisher, should I approach publishers or try to utilize the App Store ecosystems, use the App Store wars to get the best from App Stores?
I think that it's not an easy answer for this question, and we use mixed models. We have some publishers. We work with Wirtualna Polska, on Lidia, but we also trying our own endeavors. We developed our own game design platform that is a publisher for us and for other games developers. It takes time, and maybe now it's easy for me to say about it because we have a couple of years of experience, but if I were you and if I were a startup, I would try mixed model, because with publishers, if you convince a publisher to work with you, and this publisher really makes some effort, it's for you really comfortable situation, because you don't need to do any marketing, because publishers does it. But the problem is that publishers take a game from you, promise you that they will spend billions of marketing, and then they do nothing. And usually in the contract that you sign with publisher, you use your IPs, and then the game is not your anymore. So with publishers, it's really risky.
So it's tricky. So another question, and last from me. Does Ganymede publish other games? Or do you publish on your own?
We have some examples of games developed by third parties, our friends actually, companies, and we're thinking about having API for game designer and open it for other developers.
Awesome, great.
Any questions? No? Thank you very much for your presentation.